start 50 turn point. So I'm going to chop it here and here with a saw and block. I should be back in a minute. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Okay, let me show you the configuration. SO239, obviously the outside of it is connected to the ground plane. The ground plane is connected to the bottom of the coil. The center is connected to the driven plate. The driven plate is then connected to the coil via the tap. The top one is the higher part of the band, which is the SSB, and then we've got the data area and then the CW area at the bottom. So it basically gives us all of the 80 meter band. The Roly coil used DX10, 50 turns to the point where the 40 meter element will connect. Now, normally at the bottom here on the driven plate, there's a hose clamp Jubilee clip with a bit of aquarium hose around it to stop this from moving up. But with the coil there, we put the Jubilee clip on top of the coil, and that holds the whole assembly down. Okay. Ground planes come off at the base plate as they usually do. Can only have one element on with the 80 meter conversion, I've noticed, and that's because of this grounding effect here. Okay, if you remove the ground, you can then use the other driven elements. But anyway, we'll play with that and we'll see how we can make that multi-band perhaps a little later. Maybe by taking the ground off completely and just winding this, but the Q would be really small or tight for the 80 meter band if we do that. So there we are. Okay, let's deploy it. So we've got a 40 meter element only on the Expedition. The Roly Coil is also fitted, as you can see, but it's not in play. So it's just a 40 meter element. And what I've done is I've drilled a hole and I've put the element through the middle of the DX Commando Expedition, just above the Roly Coil. So that runs up the middle of the antenna and is a true quarter wave and stops at 9 meters 68 with a 5 centimeter fold back, so that I can extend it to if I need to. Okay, let's erect it and see what the SWR is like. Okay, so this is bypassing the coil completely, so we're just looking at the 40 meter band. Okay, and we're just doing SWR. Actually, what we'll do, we'll change that. Okay. So I spent about 10 to 15 minutes talking to the camera, only to realise that it was actually just taking stills rather than video, so apologies for that. But anyway, I've reconnected the Roly Coil now with an extra length of ground wire as a counterpoise. And this has solved an SWR issue I had. The Roly Coil, rather than using a full 80 meter quarter wave element, does produce a very sharp Q. There's the SWR. Let me just change the meter. There's the SWR. It's over 2 at 3.65. If I wang it up to 700, for instance, so it's now 40 kilohertz higher. It's almost zero, you know. Very, very good. It takes a lot of tuning, but once it's there, it's there. I'll just go up to 50. No, obviously 750, and it's still very good. Slightly higher. 1.2, 1.3. And if we go up now to the top of the band, go down a little bit, we don't want to go over the band. You see it's back up to 2 again. So it's a fairly short range, small Q. But you know, it's perfectly acceptable considering it's a base loaded coil on 80 meters. Anyway, we'll see if we can find someone to talk to, and we'll see if it works. Break.
Go ahead, please, Mike.
Yes, sorry for butting in, gentlemen. It's Mike 0, Mike Sierra November in the town of Gloucester. I've just put together a 40 metre vertical and loaded it at the base to give me an 80 metre vertical, and I was wondering how I'm getting out to you, M0 MSN.
I'm about 7 miles west of Cambridge, and you're about an S8 to an S9. Back to you. Yeah, good evening there, Mike 0, Mike Sierra November. I think I got it right, I hope I am. This is Mike 0 Alpha Bravo, Italy. I'm about a quarter of a mile from the seafront and down by the New Forest in a town called Barston-on-Sea. You're a good 7.9, I would say, and perfectly readable, over.
Oh, roger for that. Thanks very much.